see Taylor is connected now with his glamour shot. And that's okay. The glamour shot is fine. I apologize for. Oops. I apologize. I thought that the meetings were at 11. I don't know where I got that in my head. I will make sure that all of the meetings from now on are at 11. So how are you?
Hey.
Hey, how are you today?
Good.
Good. I am glad that you have showed up. We have what? 2 weeks left, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
We have in the first week of June is when class is over. So how are we doing on projects?
You talking about the flyer, right?
Correct.
I think mine is good. I ain't really put as much effort as I wanted to since I ain't have my my original one. So like I ain't really know what else to add to it.
Okay.
So do we like email you them and stuff to like turn them in or?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's
So
all I wanted.
which program are you using?
Creta.
Okay. How did you like that?
It was kind of like the Adobe Illustrator, so it was kind of easy to like manage.
Jakar, were you able to access that?
Yep, I believe mine. I did it on on this computer, so I believe it looks pretty well. And then I remember that with the flyer when we were in school, I did finish that. I don't know if I got you to look at it before we left or anything.
Did you save it onto your disk?
Yep, I saved it on my flash drive and I emailed it to myself as well.
Oh, awesome. Forward that to me.
Okay.
And that's one reason why we try to have a flash drive and email ourselves whatever we do, because we never know when something like what happened. Okay.
So like the classes will be at like 11 in the morning?
No,
Or 11
was 3 better for you?
Anytime don't matter to me. I was just asking.
No, I just got confused.
Oh.
Oh, someone else is here. Hello, Miss T. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I apologize for the mix-up. I was thinking that your class was at 11.
That's fine.
But how did your flyer come out?
It's coming along. I honestly, I missed the last class, so I'm not really up to speed, honestly.
Okay, well, you have until you got 2 weeks to turn, to do it and turn it in.
Oh, okay. So, what does the flyer consist of? Like, what do we have to do for the flyer? Cause the last class it was like the beginning of everything. So that I had only missed I think I missed like one class, and I didn't get like anything. I don't know what is going on.
Okay, so we did you install the program?
Which program?
Well, the
Illustrator?
Adobe
No, not Illustrator.
Critter?
Illustrator?
No, Critter.
Oh no.
Okay, so what a lot of people were unable to get the program, so I found a substitute program that has some of the same aspects of Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop and all of that all together. And it's a free program, and it is, you can see my screen now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
With all this work on it. It's called Krita, KRITA.org.
Okay.
And then you can download Krita for either your Mac or Windows. And it has a very similar interface. Now, one of the other students used Inkscape, which is very similar, but unfortunately, I'm not able to download Inkscape because it conflicts with a preference that was set in my computer, and I probably don't need any more programs. So when you start Krita, you can designate, this is a new document, you can designate your file size in inches. So 8.50 by 11 is a full sheet of paper. You always want a 300 resolution to start with. You also have defined sizes, which is US legal, US letter, tabloid, and the such. So I always use inches, height by 11. Oops, inches. Create, and then it would do that. Now, what we did was we created a flyer. What was it? It said art, didn't it? Let's see if I can find it real quick. Desktop. WC3. I thought I had it in here. Modified. I cannot remember what it was called. We did this one already, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Those were the social media ads.
Yes.
Okay. And then we did one that was a flyer that had my company name and art from last week. Okay, so out of all of the things that we've done, okay, so since we only have 2 weeks left, right?
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna skip assignment 7, which is pretty easy, and I'll show you how to do that. But what you're gonna do is you're going to come up with a logo, a job from start to finish. So like a logo, a flyer, and a social media ad. Okay. Do you want to come up with your own, or do you want me to make a fictional client?
You can make up one just so I can know, like for an example.
Oh, you want me to give you an example?
Yeah,
And
that would be
then,
fun.
huh?
Yep, and I could come up with my own.
Okay, you're good with that, T?
That is who's speaking.
Oh, okay, Jakara, are you good with that?
Yep.
Are you good with that, DJ TV?
Yeah.
Okay, so today I'm going to come up with a client. Let's see. We're going to, I'm looking around to see who I can do a logo for. We have a lot of people out here going back to work, and today we're going to come up with a random thing that I just saw running across my lawn. We're going to come up with a logo for Squirrel Roofing. Are you laughing?
Yeah.
Hey. So I am going to go. This is something I just did, which is a book for psychology. And I'm going to come up with some designs for squirrel roofing. So I would come up with my QUIRREL roofing. So what I'm going to do is I need a logo design for the client. So I'm looking at this squirrel, and I kind of like, I'm thinking, I'm gonna get some fonts here. And because squirrel is the way it is, I am going to I'm trying to find a letter that I can do something fun with. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna use, for right now, I'm gonna use Geneva. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, London, I'm gonna highlight the roofing, and I'm going to go to my eyedropper, and that is gonna give me the same typeface. I go to character, and I'm gonna go like that. Is that someone else coming in here? Oh, okay, cool. All right, so I got squirrel roofing. And so, oh, did somebody leave? Okay, so I got squirrel roofing, and I'm gonna think of something fun to do with squirrel roofing. So I'm gonna take a box, and I'm going to grab the edges of the box and bring them in, make it look like a roof. I'll take it down a little bit. Okay, so I have a roof here, and I think I'm gonna be real funny with this. I'll go to my handy my handy internet, and I am going to find two things. I am going to find nut icon. Oops. I'm gonna find a nut icon. And then I go to images. And usually what I try to do is I try to find the best quality. So if I can find a vector, I saw free. Let's see. Okay. So then we go to the images. And I see some stuff here. I'll go to flat icon, or I could go to free pick. And I see this. And I can either download it as a PNG or SVG. Now, a PNG is good because it knocks out the background and most people like them. But if I want to edit it, I can download this as a SVG. Now notice, in this, when you're dealing with these, if you're using this, then you have to attribute the author. I don't always want to do that. So I may take it and now it's a SVG is an editable piece of art. It's like an EPS or an AI. So I don't want to use their exact art because I would have to credit that author. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own using theirs as inspiration. So I can do that a number of ways. Oops. The first way is to take a circle like this one, and I'm going to use this, a rectangle, and overlay it. And so then what I can do is go to my Pathfinder right here and minus the front. So I'm gonna highlight them both. I'm gonna minus the front. And so now I have that. And so I can do that again, or I can use my rotate tool, double click on it, rotate it 90%, and copy. Oops, I should have did it 180. There you go. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. And then I can make my own, and oops. I can highlight all of these and align them so they're centered. And then I can paint them. I can unite them, the ones that are the same color. And so now I have my own little acorn there. Now I don't have to use theirs. So what I'm gonna do with the type is, if it's like this, you can edit it. But if you're happy with the way it looks, you can create outlines. And then that means it's making it a piece of art as opposed to an editable piece of art. So what you would do is then ungroup them. Oops, object, ungroup. And so now these two O's, I'm gonna get rid of them and replace them and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reflect that, copy. So now I have a little funny now. Another thing I can do to be real funny with it is I can go back in and online. Squirrel. Okay, so these are squirrels other people have done. And I kind of like this one, but I'm gonna use it as inspiration. No, this is even better. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one as inspiration because it doesn't have to be. This is giving me inspiration for a drawing. All right. So once I get my base of it kind of drawn, I can then mess around with it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And you see, I'm just drawing little shapes. arm is looking kind of pitiful. But I'm not too fond of that S, but I would go back and mess with it until I felt happy with it. And then I grouped that all together using Command G. Oops, what did I just do? Oh, I went to Krita by accident. And I'd reduce that down. And then I would take that, type, create outlines. Then I'd ungroup it, get rid of the S. I don't know if that's read as a S. What do you think?
It's giving me S vibes.
Object, ungroup. So maybe I can take that S, fill it brown. Oops. And group that. Now that looks better, huh?
Oh, that looks good.
Huh?
That looks really nice.
Thank you. So now, if I've created a logo, all right?
Right.
So you can create your logo, and then once you come up with your logo, you just copy it. You can then go you can create an invoice for, oops, let me move that off the page. But at that point, you can then create all of the things that they may need. So if I did an invoice form, I could do a letterhead depending on how many pages you want to go. So I got an invoice.
Professor?
Huh?
Excuse me. So
Yeah.
we're doing what we were doing at the beginning of the class.
Mm-hmm. So this is your final project. Huh?
Okay. I said, okay, I understand now. I thought we were doing something new.
Oh, what else you want to do?
Nothing.
Well, here's the deal.
I
Based on the amount of based on the amount of programs that we do not have access to,
yes.
I have to change the the scope of what you're able to do. Because here's the deal. We don't have Photoshop. We don't have InDesign. So you're going, I mean, for your final project, I'm just going to make it real easy for you. You're going to create an identity using using the things that you're given. You know, so you have a couple of programs. From those programs, you're able to create different things. You're able to create a logo, which is a good money maker. You're able to create a social media ad, right?
Yep.
You're able to create an invoice. You're able to create a flyer. The other programs would have given you the ability to put together booklets and pamphlets and things like that, multi-page documents. And then in Photoshop, you would have been able to do special effects. Special effects are always a plus. It's not major, but learning how to do the basics will give you the skills to go further with your graphic design career. So you can, if you're in multimedia, you can then create your beginnings, your openings for your credits. You're able to create the graphics that you would need to use for fly-ins and fly-outs. So you're able to do a lot of stuff with the tools that we've learned so far. Any questions?
No.
Mm-mm.
So you're gonna make a fake company, right?
Right.
And you're going to put all those skills that you've learned to use. By creating a branded piece. So you would have your Squirrel Roofing, your invoice. We don't have to go through the letterhead, but you can do a business card, a social media ad, or two. So you can do a social media ad for Facebook and Twitter. Not Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And a flyer. Okay, because before you did your business, now you're going to do a fictitious business. Or if you want to look up a business and you think you can redesign, have you seen somebody with some raggedy graphics? What? There's a lot of companies that got raggedy graphics, and you can come up with the graphics and sell it to them. So you can go to Safari, or I mean wherever you Google, And then you can look up Michigan businesses. You know, if you've seen something in your neighborhood that really has a terrible logo, and I'm not gonna say who has terrible logos, but you can probably find some place that has a real bad logo and fix it up. Or somebody who's had a logo for a long time and fix it up. Let's see. Who's a black owned or who's a business in the metropolitan Detroit area? Detroit restaurant. Logo. Images. So you can use any of these logos and come up with something new. Or one that you think needs an update. Like this one. I don't know what that is. That might need an update. Or Xochimilco's might need an update. That look kind of dated, doesn't it?
Yep.
The Mexican Village need an update. El Nibble Nook really need an update. So you can, you know, you can see other restaurants or come up with your own restaurant. Or as I did, I looked out the window and saw a squirrel. And came up with my own logo. I think that the squirrel part is too fat, but so any questions? Is that something you think he can do in like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Practice makes perfect, and the more pieces that you have in your portfolio, the better you get with things.
Okay.
I'm not saying you have to draw anything difficult. As you can see, those acorns were pretty simple to draw. Now you can always go in and trace things. But I'm looking for some, you know, give me something unique. You know, if you're into music or whatever, you can you can do, instead of business card, you can do a CD design if you want.
Ooh.
Ah. You know, a CD is usually like 5 by 5. So you just go in here and you just go 5, tab 5. And then you could come up with a pitch, you know, a new CD for somebody. Or yourself. You know. That's me. So if I were to make this my CD, I could go object, arrange, send to back. And then I use this to crop it out, highlight both of them, object, clipping math, make. So I could go to the blue, and then I could go here, and I could go transparency, color. This is, see, you can make your own CD.
Ooh.
You know, if you want to be not like that. You know, you can be fun with it. You know, so if you were to do like a CD, then you would come up with maybe a CD, a poster, a flyer, you know, CD Stephanie Sings the Blues in stores now. So that would be something different if you wanted to do that. So I would say, give me 5 pieces. You choose what pieces they are. So if you're gonna do a logo, it would be logo, business card, social media ad, flyer, and invoice. If you're doing a CD, it would be a CD, a poster, a social media ad, you know, something like that. You know, if you're doing the CD, you could do the front and the back of the CD. You know, the back is a little bit more, a little bit more in depth. Fine, Dave. So, for example, a CD could look like that. So that's an in-depth CD. That's the inside. That's the back. That's the tray card. Or that's like a jewel pack. Now I'd accept that as a as a full project.
That's fire. I could do that.
Huh?
I was saying it was fun to do.
So that's one of my projects. So you got your tray card, and let's see, we did the digipack, and then we did a print on disc. CD. Okay. So I think this is another one. Two beats. This would be another CD. So this is a more, even more high end because you're doing more pages. So this one is with Shaggy and Eric Benet. And so that's a booklet. But you don't have to get all into that. Oops. Does anybody have any questions? Or did you need me to
No, thank you.
Nah, I got it. I think I got it.
oops, sorry. I thought that was a design. That was the song. this would be like a mix. Like this is when I did a flyer for that same CD that you just saw. That would be a flyer for it. So you can have your CD with a background and did I give you guys too much?
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to say is, I have made all of the videos of the class. I've made them public until the end of the semester because it was just too much for me to send you links. So if you look up CIS space 266, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You can go on your Google, go to YouTube. You do a search in YouTube, go CIS space 266, enter. And you will see me. You see? And then if you click on it, you can go look at your classes. And if you go to my page, Stephanie Carr, I have them by playlist. So I spent some time and I put all of everybody's classes in playlists. So you just go to my page and you can go or look up CIS 266, go to my page, and then you'll see the CIS 266 playlist.
All right.
That makes things easy, right?
Right.
All right. And that way you don't have to wait for a link. And right after class, what I do is I just go and upload it. So by the night, you should have today's class in that.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So if you need me, feel free to call me. If I don't answer, right away, either I may be in a class, but if I don't answer, call me, text me, say, where are you? Okay?
All right.
All right. I'll see you next week at 3.
All right.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.